Welcome to CX Talk. It's September and this is episode number 2. I am Dave Murray, Senior Consultant for the DiJulius Group, and with me is John DiJulius. Hello, John.
Hello, Dave. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be back. I don't know if you remember last, in August, episode 1, you made fun of
Yes,
our bobbleheads.
I did.
And that you were significantly taller than me. So I brought something.
Uh-oh.
Another bobblehead
Yes.
that gets me a little closer. I thought it was taller, actually. No, we might have to do a little measurement, but I like that.
Yeah. The physique is really more lifelike in this one as
It
well.
is.
That's a good.
I think the
good
size is lifelike to scale.
Yes,
So.
very nice.
All right, well, it's good to be here. We got a lot of great stuff this month to share with you. Good, bad, funny, important to help your customer experience get to the next level.
We do, and let's start off with something important. We need to talk about the passing of a true leader in the hospitality industry, someone that you knew personally, Truett Cathy. You want to tell us about Truett, John?
Yeah, Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A restaurants, passed 2 weeks ago. And I considered him the father of hospitality. I had the good fortune of meeting him and seeing him speak on a couple of occasions at Chick-fil-A's annual conference. And I haven't met too many people as genuine as Truett, but just the business model he created. I believe that Chick-fil-A is the Ritz-Carltons of fast food. And they are a model not only for the fast food industry, but so many businesses study them in all different industries. And Chick-fil-A absolutely has the most amazing culture I've ever worked with and studied. And it really comes back to Truett and all the principles he had taught them. So he's just served as a great model, the father of hospitality.
Absolutely. It's a big loss to the service industry.
It is. But fortunately, that business is strong, and I think his vision will live on for decades.
It will. I've gotten the chance to go to their corporate headquarters, and you can feel the loyalty, you can feel the culture when you walk into that building. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. So I want to go into that direction. Whenever I talk about service aptitude, and how good your customer service is really predicated on service aptitude from the top all the way down to the newest employee you just hired. And the biggest thing that I think companies that separate good, excellent customer service from average and below average is that most companies train their employees technically how to process an order, answer a phone, book an appointment, whatever the technical aspect is. But only the exceptional customer service companies certify their employees on service aptitude. And, it might be an ESAT, Employee Service Aptitude Test, knowing their service standards. And that is so key. And so today we have a bunch of great examples of both bad and good. And you can really see where employees who have low service aptitude make poor decisions that really hurt the brand. And my biggest point to service aptitude is it's the company's responsibility to teach. It's not the employee's responsibility to have high service aptitude. It's the company's responsibility to teach that high service aptitude. So I think you have a couple examples.
I do. I have a personal example. It just happened to me a few weeks ago that I wanted to share with you. I actually took a picture of it that we can show on the screen here. So I was with 2 of my kids, and it was before school, and we stopped to grab a quick bite to eat before I could drop them off at school. So we stopped into a pretty popular national chain, and it was crowded. It was about 8:15 in the morning, so it was their rush, right? And you and I both, everyone that works for the DiJulius Group, we're always looking for service, whether it's good or bad. It's just what we do. We kind of critique
It's almost
service.
a curse now.
It is, right.
You can't just enjoy an experience.
Right. So we go into this restaurant, and we order our food, and we go to look for a table. And as you see on the photo, that most of this restaurant is made up of 2 tops, so only seating for 2 people. There was one 4-top table in the restaurant, and someone who had worked there put down marketing materials that they needed to, I guess, swap out, change, hang up, whatever the case may be, placed them on the only four-top table available in the restaurant, and just left them there, probably because they got busy, had to go behind the counter, whatever. So there was no place for the three of us to sit. There were no tables that would accommodate three people. I didn't say anything because I kind of wanted to observe and see if they'd notice or anything would happen. But it would remind me of what we always talk about here is always being on stage. And it reminded me that it's just not about your name tag being in the right place or your hair looking nice. It's everything about your company, everything about your location if you're in a store, if you're in a retail store. Making sure that all your tables are set, that when it's your busiest time of day, that everything is ready to go in your location. Obviously that was an oversight. I wasn't the only group of three or more that was not able to sit there and was frustrated by that. I'd be curious to see how long those posters stayed there. I bet you it was a good chunk of the morning.
Yeah, busy time, peak time. They are losing revenue because either people, don't wait, or it's slowing, turnovers of their tables down at their peak time. I guess, you never want to have that because you're right, that it's on stage. And sometimes we only think about, ourselves, what we're doing, employees being on stage, but anything that customer, that's a negative cue. It goes into several different categories.
So speaking of low service aptitude, I know you have an example that you wanted to share that was actually in the news quite a bit recently.
Yeah, and this, we're not talking about frontline employee. Service aptitude starts at the top. This is a big story. There's a hotel in Hudson, New York, that charges for negative reviews. It's pretty crazy, and it's kind of a little sneaky. In the bridal contracts, if you're having a wedding or an event, part of the contract that you may not see reads, there will be a $500 fine that will be deducted from your deposit for every negative review of our hotel placed on the internet by anyone in your party or attending your wedding. Even if you stay here to attend a wedding anywhere in the area or leave us a negative review on the internet, you agree to pay a $500 negative review. How's that? You can't even control. It's not you. If you have attendees coming to your wedding and they have a poor experience and they write something about how bad the hotel is, you lose your deposit.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's not only horrible service, but borderline infringement on the First Amendment.
It is, and so as a result of this, Congress just enacted, at least in California, and this didn't even happen in California, this happened in New York, but as a result of this and happening other places, they have passed that this is unconstitutional, and businesses can't penalize you. But looking at this business, I went to their website, this hotel. They have policies galore. Talk about negative cues. These are things that were posted on their website. We only honor certain gift cards and at certain times, days of the year. We do not accept gift cards or gift certifications without prior notification. You'll be charged up front per a regular reservation, refunded when you present your card or certification upon arrival. Another one. We only accept cancellations via email, and you must receive a response from us in order for you to have your approved cancellation, and there will be a $35 charge for any cancellation per room. So this company is really trying to make it difficult to do business with.
It doesn't sound like a fun place to stay.
No, I mean, if you just go to their website, these things are shouting out all these warnings, and one of my favorite quotes is, create the customer experience based on that no customers have bad intentions. Why do so many businesses sound so harsh to do business with, that they don't trust their customers? So definitely a poor example of service aptitude from top down.
Definitely.
10 speakers, 2 days, 1 event. The Secret Service Summit, America's #1 customer experience conference. Tickets available now at secretservicesummit.com.
So we've had a couple of stories that talk about negative service aptitude, bad service aptitude. I have one that I think is pretty good that I wanted to share with you. I just got this last night. I flew home from Nashville. I was on Southwest, and they just unveiled their new logo this last week. So I was looking through the magazine to learn more about that and see what they were up to. And I noticed, I hadn't been on Southwest in a little while, I noticed that they had a page, 2 pages actually, dedicated to letters they received from passengers. Now, it reminded me of our commandment number 8, above and beyond culture. In above and beyond culture, we talk about making sure that you are taking your above and beyond stories and advertising them to all your employees so they understand the behaviors that we're looking for.
But they're advertising these to their customer.
Right, so they take it a step further at Southwest. Not only do all the employees know about it, but they're picking the top 8 or 10 from that month and they're printing them in their publication. So there were 2 pages dedicated to employees and the letters that came in about the employees, and very often it lists the employee's name unless it was an anonymous occurrence, but usually it lists the employee's name and an overview of what happened and how they saved the day. So I thought that was a fantastic practice. I had not seen this before. I'm not sure how long they've been doing it, but I thought it was a fantastic practice that really takes that above and beyond culture to the next level.
I love it. I love it because now if I'm a Southwest employee, I want to do a story that gets how cool is that? That you're in the magazine and your story is in there. So, and I'm learning, reading, hearing other stories that my coworkers are doing that maybe similar situations have I've been in and didn't think to do that. So that's really perpetuating top of mind awareness, priming the mind to look for opportunities to go above and beyond. I think that's brilliant. And to that point, I have a great Southwest story that was recently in my e-service. So every week, the DiJulius Group, we write an e-service blog that is complimentary, and you can go to the DiJuliusGroup.com and sign up for this. Share it with your staff. Tens of thousands of people get this. It's short little stories of world class and just learning examples. And so the one that appeared in the e-service dated September 10th, 2014. I think the overall title was "Where the Hell is Matt?" E-service. Now this story that appeared in that, the headline was "Turning a Monotonous Task into an Experience." So think of every company, every business has monotonous tasks. And there's 2 such examples, and one is the Southwest, where I actually show a video of, and you can see this and click on this video, of a Southwest flight attendant. Has to do that boring, mundane, pre-flight, speech that no one listens to.
Right.
And what she shares is just downright hilarious. I mean, she has the whole plane rolling. You have to watch this 3-minute video. So go to the DiJuliusGroup.com and it'll tell you how to get to the September 10th e-service and watch the Southwest flight. Now, in that same e-service, you can also listen to another example of turning a monotonous task. So, Zappos, another great example. You go to you call Zappos, and you have to wait on hold, right? Every business, that's part of the experience typically. I'm going to play for you the audio of when I called Zappos recently and how they turned a monotonous hold time into an experience.
Hi, my name is Cecilia and I'm with the customer loyalty team here at Zappos. Here's your joke of the day. Why did the ballerina quit? Why? Because it was too hard.
So think about that. You're listening to this joke of the day, and they change it every day. And whether you find it funny or not, and typically they are, you're paying less attention to how many seconds you're on hold, and it makes it a little bit more fun. So it's a surprise and delight. So think about in your own business how you can stand out, how you can turn monotonous things that employees have to do into an experience, like the 2 examples right there with the Southwest flight attendant and the Zappos on hold message.
Another great benefit of that Zappos message is it sounds like they're having a lot of fun when they're doing it too.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's almost a huddle where they get together every day and it's someone's turn to come up with a joke, someone's turn to deliver it. and they all gather around and they do it, and it seems like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, in fact, I heard that employees call to see what the joke of the day is for the day. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a fun culture, and it's a fun place to do business with.
Yeah, definitely. That's great.
Dave, you have been traveling like crazy for the DiJulius Group, which is a good thing. I'm happy about. I don't know if you or your wife and kids are as happy, but one of your trips, besides flying all over the U.S., you were in Central Europe for an extended a couple weeks, consulting with several brands, DiJulius Group clients, well-known brands. So I'm curious, what was that experience like, and what is it like in different cultures? Customer service, is it different than what we experience here in the United States? And do you have to change what you're teaching or curve it, or what is that like?
It was really interesting, John. It was a great experience to go to Central Europe. I spent the majority of my time in Poland, and I got to be honest, I was a little concerned going into it, because in the calls leading up to the presentations I was doing over there, they were warning me about things, warning me that it's not as natural for folks over here to smile as it is in the U.S. We always say.
So are
smile.
these, I assume they're business to consumer, retail types of businesses?
Yes.
Okay,
These
so
are
they're
all,
coming in face to face.
They were all restaurant, business to consumer companies. And so, we always say smile is part of the uniform.
Right.
If you're happy, tell your face.
Tell your face.
So
I'm happy.
Yes, you are. So that worried me a little bit. Some of the things that we teach in our methodologies, I was worried that are these going to get through to these folks? But the great thing that I found is that people everywhere across the globe really just want to help other people, right? Many people are service-minded, and they don't want to hide behind policy and stand there and be yelled at and not try and help the person, not use empathy to try and find a way to solve that situation. People innately do want to do that, and that's what I found. And the people that I got to work with in Poland, and people that come all over Central Europe and even into Western Europe came to this, they all just wanted to help, and they all wanted to make their company shine and use service to separate themselves from their competition. So it was really, really a great experience. The one thing that did stand out to me, though, was the shyness. I had heard about the shyness of people in Central Europe going into this.
Being more reserved?
Being more reserved. In fact, one story that I thought was funny, but is true, people are so shy and so reluctant to give their names sometimes. They don't feel comfortable giving their first name all the time. So when people sometimes go into Starbucks, they have a fake Starbucks name.
The customers.
The customer. So they don't want to say, when they say, what's your name? I don't want to say Dave, so my Starbucks name may be Dan. So I know when they say, Dan, your drink is ready, here's your latte, I know it's me. So I found that pretty fascinating. But other than that, the cultural differences when it came to service were not great. I was pleasantly surprised, and our methodologies worked very, very well, and they were excited to use them.
So what do you think the key is there, Dave? So they have an innate built-in shyness. Mm-hmm. They're more reserved. And so you were able to make considerable progress. Is it that when employees are given the tools and the training to be more open and be more aggressively friendly, mm-hmm. they welcome it?
The employees welcomed it because they enjoyed it. They saw it as making their jobs more fun, and they saw it as helping their companies. So the employees liked it very much. The one thing that we're still working through and will always be an issue is the employees reading the customer, because sometimes the customer doesn't want that friendliness. Yeah. Sometimes the customer says, I just want to sit here and eat my meal. I don't necessarily want to know your name when you serve me. I just want to have my meal. So one thing we're working on now is making sure they're able to read the customer and know when it's appropriate to provide that friendliness and when I just need to do my job and hustle and do what I normally do and take a little of the friendliness out based on what the customer is looking for.
But that is true, in our culture, yes. The United States. We may have a lower percentage, but you have to read. And you have to read your customers, and not all want to, have that rapport and be spoken. Some people are in a hurry, mm-hmm. and they want to, just get the service and move on, get their product, move on. And you have to read that. Still be friendly, smiling, using, your name or their name. And then there's others that, welcome and want a rapport, and that's key. That's very key. So that's really cool that it translates, and that, I've read that, that Europe is really becoming more aggressive at trying to move that service dial, if you will, meter, and they're getting more aggressive with training.
They are, especially in Central Europe, because they've realized there's two things. First of all, the fall of communism 20 years ago. So now they have more free markets, so they realize that service can help separate you from your competition. And the other thing is now that in Poland, again, as an example, since they joined the European Union 10 years ago, there's more tourism. Travel is easier throughout Europe. Yeah. So now they are realizing that, hey, we need to impress these people and provide great service because we want them to come back. So there's a couple things that happened over the last 20 years that has really increased the importance of service in their culture.
Good stuff.
The Customer Experience Executive Academy, preparing customer service executives to lead, design, and manage the customer experience. Applications for 2015 courses now being accepted. Find out more at cxeacademy.com.
All right. So I want to talk about something that had appeared in my September 18th, 2014's e-service, titled World's Friendliest Restaurant. It's Tim's Place. And their service vision is that they are the world's friendliest restaurant. Wow, that's putting a lot of pressure by advertising that, and that's on their sign.
It is on their sign, but I have had the opportunity to see the video. And you know what? They live up to it, that's for sure.
They do. You have to watch the video that's attached in this e-service. And this is what they say they offer. We offer breakfast, lunch, and hugs. And they literally hug everyone that comes in. And Tim, the entrepreneur who started this, was born with Down syndrome. And Tim's life has been defined by exceeding expectations. And he's worked growing up in the hospitality business, and he always wanted to open a restaurant, and then this is his place. And you have to watch this video and show it to your staff. It is a warm and fuzzy story, and they live up to being the world's friendliest restaurant. It is really, really cool. Very short video. Make sure you watch it about Tim's Place, which is a restaurant, and it's really, really cool.
It is a great service story, and it's just a great success story, too.
It is. It really is.
Well, speaking of great service, it's almost time for the summit as we sit here in September. We're just a little over a month away.
Yep, Dave's talking about the 2014 Secret Service Summit, which is America's #1 customer service conference, dedicated 2 days just on customer service. This sells out every year. It's going to certainly sell out this year, and it's way ahead of schedule. I promise you, this is going to be the best investment you can make in training, bringing your key executives to this. We have, I think, 10 to 12 amazing speakers. They're going to be doing keynotes, and there's these world leading authorities, best-selling authors, and brand executives. Rory Vaden, who's written 2 best-selling books, and myself, Jim Gilmore, who wrote one of the top 100 business books, The Experience Economy. And we have people from Zappos and Anytime Fitness, the #1 franchise. Tim Gard, as you know, is one of the funniest people you will ever see.
Yeah.
So we have so many different speakers.
And don't forget that if people want to hear more, they can go to past e-services and listen to some of the interviews. Most of the speakers that are coming, we have interviews so people can get a flavor of what they're going to learn when they come to the summit.
Yeah, and not only the keynote speakers, we're doing something for the first time ever, which is called the CXE panel, or the CX panel, where, Dave, you want to explain what that is?
Sure. What we decided to do this year, one of the great things about the summit, on top of the content and the speakers you get to hear and learn from, is also the opportunity to learn from your peers. There's so many great companies in this room, so many great service leaders, so the networking and talking between sessions and meeting people. we decided to try and get some of these folks out to everybody. And so what we're doing is we created a panel of customer experience leaders, people that we work with that actually lead the charge of service throughout their organizations. So we have people from Anytime Fitness, from Chick-fil-A, from Ashley Furniture, just to name a few. Domino's. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for people to hear some of the struggles that these folks go through day in and day out as they're trying to lead this charge throughout their organization, some of the best practices that they have found. We always find a gem or two of a best practice that comes out of the summit. Last year we had a great one from our friends at the Maids International with their I Can cards that everyone seems to be stealing now because it works so well. There's always something that comes out of the summit that everyone, it's kind of the next must-have service tool that people want to implement. And that's what we're trying to go for with this. We're trying to make sure that everyone can hear what these folks are doing because they're doing such fantastic things.
And these people are in charge of the customer experience of their organizations.
Yes.
So these are some of the sharpest minds. And that's where business is going. The fastest growing C-suite position is the customer experience executive. So these are some of the best. And they will give you not only great ideas, but great ideas on how you can make it sustainable in your organization. And so I'm excited about this piece.
The other great thing about this panel is we have companies represented that have been around for a long time and have been known for service for a long time. And we have companies like Advanced Financial that are on the Inc. fastest growing list, Inc. magazine fastest growing. So it really runs the gamut from younger companies that have found that service is the key for them to excel and accelerate their growth, and companies that have been around a long time because they practice these service standards over and over daily throughout time.
Well, unfortunately, we are just about out of time for the September episode 2 of CX Talk. I really enjoyed doing this with you, Dave. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about what October's episode will look like of CX Talk.
Yes, episode 3 will be out on October 22nd. If you have not done so already, be sure to register so that you get notification of when it's coming out. So it will notify you where to get the link when it comes out on the 22nd of October. The other thing I wanted to mention, John, is we have an abundance of stories, obviously. We read and go through service all the time, and sometimes it's in our own life experience that we reference. But we'd also love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments, something you don't quite understand, or a challenge you're facing in your business, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to spend some time in this forum and helping other people while we answer your question. So please feel free to send your questions or comments into my email address, which is on the screen, dmurray@DiJuliusGroup.com, and we would love to work it into our program.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next month.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
CX Talk is brought to you by the DiJulius Group. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and visit our YouTube channel monthly for more entertainment and education with John and Dave on CX Talk.